DreAllDay.com.
Listen, we about to talk about talking to strangers. We're about to talk about not talking to strangers. Allow me to introduce myself for those of you seeing me for the first time, those of you who maybe see me for the second time. My name is Dre Baldwin. Many people know me as Dre All Day. I'm an empowerment expert. So what I do is empower people to think better, do better, and be better in their business, their sport, and their lives. My background is as a professional athlete, also as a professional speaker. I am a branding and marketing expert. Played basketball overseas for 9 years, and I do all this empowerment through written content, through my books. I've written 5 books, through the blogs on my website, DreAllDay.com, through the 4,000 plus videos I have on YouTube, all these Periscope streams, and also through professional speaking engagements. I work with athletes, I work with businesses, and I work with entrepreneurs. So we're going to get right into the topic here. As you're coming into the room, y'all can leave comments and questions as I speak. I might get them, I might not get them, but make sure you copy your question before you post it, because if I'm talking and I miss it, you'll be able to post it again. Do I know about branding? I am branding. So absolutely, I do know about branding, and we're about to talk about that right now. That's why it's in the title of this topic, Periscope. So what we're talking about here today is don't talk to strangers. Now, all of you, I don't know how many of you have kids, but all of you at some point were a kid. And when you were a child, didn't you have your adults in your lives, your grandma, your mom, your dad, your teachers, somebody say to you, don't talk to strangers? All of you have heard that phrase before, right? Don't talk to strangers, because a stranger might try to kidnap you. A stranger might try to give you drugs. A stranger might try to do some harm to you. So don't talk to anybody that you don't know. All of you have heard that phrase before, and it was ingrained in us as kids. At least I was. The neighborhood that I came from, I was told very strictly, don't talk to strangers. So here's the thing. If you want to get known, if you want your brand to get known, you want to build your marketing space, understand this. You better be talking to strangers. You better talk to strangers all the time. You better be talking to strangers every single day. Guess what? I'm a stranger to all of y'all. I don't think I met any of you ever in person except Matija from Pula, Croatia. I might have met her in person. The rest of y'all don't know me in person. The rest of y'all don't know me from anywhere. I'm just a guy here on the internet talking to you. And if I want to sell something to you, understand, if I want to sell something to you, I would have to talk to strangers. That's the only way that I'm going to get known. If I want my brand to get known, I get on here on Periscope every day. I don't know, but maybe 5 people in my life who are on Periscope, actually being on Periscope every single day. I don't know y'all. So I have to talk to strangers to get known. If I want to sell a product, I got to talk to a stranger. If when I'm doing Dre All Day TV live, when I'm walking in the streets of South Florida, what am I doing? Talking to strangers, making friends, making sure people know my name, telling them, hey, you ever heard of Periscope? You know how Periscope works? Y'all saw me doing this the last couple of weeks. So I'm in the street. I just talk to random people. That's how you're going to get known. That's how you build your brand name. If your brand was only known by the people who know you, or your product or service was only being purchased by the people who know you, your friends and your family, you probably wouldn't make that much money unless they buying that stuff in bulk. If you want to streamline, you want to expand, you want your stuff to really grow and scale, you got to have a whole bunch of strangers buying into what you got. How many of you right now are wearing something or using something or bought something today that was sold to you by somebody who you never met in your life? All of you. All of you. How many of you ever met Steve Jobs or the people who run Apple? None of you probably. How many of you met the person who made the t-shirt you got on, or the socks you're wearing, or the shoes that you're wearing? Probably none of you. Or who sold that product, or whose name is on that product, or whose signature is on that t-shirt? Probably none of you. So those people talk to strangers. They got people, or they got somebody to talk to a stranger on their behalf, and that's how they were able to make their sales. So if you want your brand to be known, you better get very, very good and very, very comfortable with talking to strangers, or you better hire somebody who can, because that's the only way you're going to get attention for your brand. I'm going to take questions from y'all as I'm speaking, so now I'm looking at some of those. Joseph 26106 was going on from Russia. I want to take questions because we're talking about building a brand here, getting attention to yourself. What's going on, Cree Richardson? You got invited here by Lamecca. You came highly recommended, so I'm glad you're here. Where are you checking in from, Cree? We're talking about getting attention for your brand, making sure that people know your name, and the way you're going to get more people to know your name is to talk to strangers. Joseph says he came to deliver a message. Well, deliver the message, Joseph. Don't announce it, just deliver the message. And don't say nothing stupid. Make sure you stay on topic. That goes for everybody in here. Now, look. What is he talking about? All right, so we got to get Joseph out of here. So listen, if you want people to know what you're doing and you only talk to people that you know, yeah, you can get referrals. Maybe somebody could pass the word along, but it's going to move a little bit too slowly. If you want people to really know who you are, you really want to get out there, turn on your Periscope, start streaming. People who are strangers who you never met before, you got to talk to them. Some of your best customers are going to be strangers who never met you before, because guess what? There are a lot of people out there in the world right now who are looking to buy what it is that you're offering. And when I say buy what you're offering, it doesn't necessarily mean something that they have to spend money on, because buying just means paying. And we know that people can pay with attention. right? People can pay with attention. So there are people who want to give their attention to you for what it is that you have to say, what it is that you want to write, what it is that you want to say, what it is that you want to get out there. Understand that there are people who want to pay. But if you don't put yourself out there and talk to strangers, there's no way for them to get the information. So always talk to strangers. Always be willing to talk to somebody new. Don't think that just because you don't know somebody, you shouldn't listen. If you're in the middle of building a brand or selling a product or service, this conversation should be, you way past this conversation. I think all of you pretty much understand that. And that's why I want to open the floor for questions here for everybody when we're talking about building your brand, marketing yourself, getting your business known, getting your name known, getting your entity known, whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't matter if you sell a product, if you sell a service, if you're selling yourself, if you're writing blogs, if you're making YouTube videos, if you're doing Periscope. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you're doing, your business is going to scale because of strangers. People who never talk to you, people who never leave you comments, people who never follow you on Twitter, they don't send you emails, they see you in the mall, don't say nothing to you, so you don't even know that they know who you are. Those strangers are the ones who are going to make you rich. The strangers are going to make you rich through paying attention and through paying money. So you want strangers talking to you. You want to be talking to strangers. You want strangers to at least be hearing what you got to say. They might not say nothing to you, but you want them to be able to hear you when you're out there putting yourself out there through your content. And when you're putting yourself out there, it doesn't mean you got to sit in front of the camera and talk like I'm doing, but you better put something out. You put out a YouTube video, you put out a blog, you get good copy on your sales page, whatever it is you're putting out. You have to talk to strangers at all times, because what happens is you talk to strangers enough, they start to become familiar to you. I got a lot of people in here, like Boston 617 Baller. He's familiar with me. He said this guy tried to sell him clothes from his brand, Talking to Strangers. His brand was called Talking to Strangers. Exactly. That's the whole thing. So I got a lot of people that's in this Periscope stream right now that are familiar with me. I'm familiar with them now because they in here all the time, but they started off as strangers. He said he didn't seem to make many sales, but he got a lot of attention. Well, he's on the right track. First thing is to get attention. Maybe he don't have the right product. Maybe he can improve his product. But eventually, as long as he knows how to get attention, he'll eventually start to make some money because somebody's going to buy it. If he asks enough people, even with what he has right now, eventually he's going to start making sales. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, talking to strangers is how you're going to get known. My YouTube channel didn't start with me. I didn't go to my mom and say, hey, mom, watch this YouTube video. I didn't go to my grandma and say, hey, grandma, download Periscope on your phone so you can see me and you can give me some hearts. No, I just started talking, putting out whatever it is that I had to say, and a whole bunch of strangers saw me. They saw interest. They saw some value in this, and they started watching. What's going on, Yaya G Moni? Where you checking in from, Yaya? That's how you're going to build your name. That's how your brand is going to get known. So does anybody have any questions? I know everything. I'm not just giving y'all 1,000,000% of the information that y'all know everything. What's up, Trey T? Yaya checking in from Chicago. If there's something that I haven't covered, and it doesn't matter if it's something I might have talked about before. We're talking about branding. We're talking about marketing. You're talking about attention. We're talking about the people who are going to be paying you, whether that be through attention or whether it be through money. If you have a question, let me know. Let's talk about it. If you got a topic that you want me to discuss that's related to that, let me know. Let's talk about it. That's why I come on here, ladies and gentlemen. I come on here to provide value to y'all, to empower y'all to do better in your businesses. And I know almost everybody I talk to, if you ask them if you could do anything, ultimately, what would you do? Almost everybody says they want to run their own business. They want to do their own thing, whether they're doing it now or they're not doing it. Maybe they want to do their own thing better and bigger than they're doing it right now. But everybody wants to do their own thing. And Base Danny says your usual white vest a part of your brand. This is not a vest. This is called a wife beater or a tank top. Is it part of my brand? Not really. I don't think I was the first person to wear one. What's up, B McCarty Hot 54? State of Nate says, how do you get the confidence to go up to talk to people without being afraid of people judging you? Understand that people are always judging you. All of you who are watching this stream right now, you're judging me right now. You're judging every single word. You're judging every little mannerism. You're judging the tone of my voice. You're judging the way that I look. You're judging my shoulders. You're judging my hat. You're judging my language. You're judging the speed that I'm talking at. You're judging every single thing that I'm doing. You are always being judged. So as soon as you're being judged just by asking that question, State of Nate, people are judging the question that you ask, and they're making some kind of decision about you, maybe a small decision, but a decision based on what you're saying. The best way to start a conversation with a potential prospect, good question. We're going to come back to that, Trey T. Hold that question if I got to come back to it. The way that you don't avoid judging. All right, so don't avoid judgment. Human beings, that's all we do. All days we judge things. Something happens, we judge. Is this good or bad? Somebody says something, we judge. What do I think about what that person said? If you're at home, you might be judging right now. Is it too hot or too cold in here? Should I turn the air conditioning on, or should I turn the heat on, or should I turn it off? Am I thirsty? Am I hungry? Do I need to go to the store? Should I write this blog post? Should I answer this phone call? Should I respond to this text? Should I go check my Twitter feed? Should I see what anybody's doing on Facebook? We're making judgments all day, every single day. That's all we do is make judgments. When you're in your car driving, should I slow down? Should I speed up? Should I hit the brakes? Should I switch to the left lane? Should I switch to the right lane? Should I beep at this guy? Should I give him the middle finger for cutting me off? You're always making judgments. So judgments are happening all the time. So you're not ever going to avoid people judging you. Understand, you just want them to make the judgment that you want them to make. So all you got to do, the first thing you got to do is get out of your mind that somebody judging you, because it's going to happen anyway. And when your conviction or whatever it is you have to say or whatever you're doing is stronger than whatever that person is feeling, you're going to control the conversation. In any conversation, this comes from straight from Tony Robbins. The person who is more certain in what they're thinking or what they have to say or on who they are, they're always going to control the interaction. So when y'all see me in Dre All Day TV, I'm walking in the streets. Yesterday I was in South Beach at the South Point Park Pier. I'm down at the pier, down at the end of Miami Beach in South Beach, and I started talking to that security guard. I was more certain about he's going to answer my questions than he was about not talking to me. And not even that he had that idea, but y'all understand what I'm saying. If he was like, I don't want to talk to nobody, whoever's more certain between me and him is going to be the one who runs that conversation. When I'm doing Dre All Day TV in the streets, I run the conversation because my conviction that you're going to answer my questions is stronger than whatever is going on in your mind at that moment. Because I'm running the conversation. That's exactly how it is. It's just a decision that you have to make. Is an energy that you approach with. Understand that if you ever been in a room and you see somebody walk into the room, you can instantly feel how they're feeling. You can tell somebody's angry. You can tell somebody's super happy. You can tell somebody's just bored. You can tell somebody is just very excited about something. You can feel it without even saying anything. So the energy that you're feeling about yourself, the confidence that you're feeling, the conviction, the certainty, that energy projects out ahead of you before you even get to somebody. You ever hear the phrase, your reputation precedes you? The reputation, when we're talking about the energy of talking to other people, is like your energy precedes you. Whatever energy you have goes out way ahead of you before you even get there. And that person, the decision has already been made between you and that person, what's going to happen. If you ever in the streets and you see young men, you ever see a lady that you want to talk to, you start projecting already in your mind, you know what, I'm going to talk to that girl as soon as she gets close enough for me to talk to her. And she might see you and say, I'm not interested in that dude. I'm not talking to him no matter what he says. Whichever one of you is more certain is going to control that interaction. If the lady is more certain, she's going to keep walking no matter what you say. If the man is more certain, then he's going to get her to stop. Now, the man might be more certain because the lady is also interested in talking to him. So if both people are interested in the same thing, then boom, you got magic. Magic happens, both people talk. Y'all have an exchange, whatever happens in that exchange. So understand that you're always going to be being judged. You just have to control the judgment by having more certainty, more conviction in what it is that you have to say. Everybody understand that. And Trey T asked the question, he said, how do you get more comfortable in starting a conversation with a person who you don't know? That's a great question. Understand that conversation is very simple. It's just a series of questions. Whoever's asking the questions controls the conversation. Any of you ever been questioned by the cops or watch a TV show where the cops are talking to somebody or interrogating somebody? What are the cops doing the whole time? All they're doing is just asking questions. I ask the questions, you answer the questions. That's what a cop will say. If you start asking the cop questions, the cop might say, listen, I'll do the asking of the questions, you do the answering of the questions, because the cop is in control of the situation. Do y'all understand that? Base Danny, see, those are the kind of comments that got you blocked. See, now we got to get you out of here again. All right, look. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the person who asks the questions in any conversation, that's the person who controls the conversation. So if you want to get comfortable talking to other people, learn to ask good questions. And here's a good question. Here's a good rule of thumb when it comes to asking questions. Ask open-ended questions. Very simply. Y'all know what open-ended questions are? Open-ended question is a question that gets somebody to talk, to explain something. A closed-ended question is a question somebody can answer with one word, like, hey, where are you from? Philadelphia. Conversation's over. You asked me where I'm from, I told you, hey, are you doing well today? Yes. Conversation's over. Hey, would you like to stop and talk to me? No. All right, the conversation's over. So you have to ask an open-ended question that makes people want to talk, or that gets people to talk. Not necessarily makes them want to talk, but gets people to talk. Like if you ask somebody a question like, what brought you to Miami? That's an open-ended question. Now that person's going to tell you a little bit about their background, or what are the 3 best things about what you do for a living? Now that person has an opening to talk about what they want to talk about. And of course you want to tailor your question to based on whatever that person is doing. You want to ask them something based on some observation that you made. So if I'm walking down the street and I see a guy who's working security at the beach, I'm going to ask him, hey, how long have you been working here? He's going to tell me how long he's been working. I say, well, what'd you do before you started working here? Now he's going to give me some information about his background. Hey, What do you like best about working here? He's going to tell me. What is the biggest challenge of working here? He's going to tell me. So now I'm starting to gather information. Maybe you can ask some closed-ended questions at some point, like, hey, where are you from? Hey, how old are you? Hey, what time is this place closed? Or, hey, have you ever heard of Periscope? Things like that. Those are closed-ended questions, but you gather information from people by asking open-ended questions. So, Dre, tell me a little bit about your background. That's not that great of a question, depending on who I'm talking to. Now, if I'm doing an interview, I'll answer that question. But if I just meet somebody in the street and they say, tell me a little bit about your background, I'm like, man, what the hell do you want? Ask me a better question than that. So get good at asking questions, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you control conversations. And once you're good at asking questions and you're certain in the questions you're asking, you're confident and comfortable in it, you'll be able to approach strangers and ask things. And this is another thing you got to understand about talking to strangers. Let's say you approach a stranger and they're not interested in your conversation. They're not interested in what you have to sell. They're not interested in talking to you. They don't want to know you. They're not interested in anything that you have to say. Let me ask all you a question. If that happens to you, what exactly did you lose? What did you lose by a stranger not being interested in talking to you? You didn't lose anything. They didn't know you before you start talking to them. Let's see the situation. They didn't know you. They had never bought anything from you. They had never had an exchange with you. You didn't have anything invested in them, and they had nothing invested in you, right? Now, let's say you go talk to a stranger and they're not interested. What happened after? They don't know you. They didn't have an exchange with you. They don't care about what it is that you're selling. You don't have anything invested in them. They have nothing invested in you. So you are in the exact same spot after the interaction than you were before the interaction. So what exactly do you have to lose? So that's the kind of mind state I try to help people get in when they're talking about talking to strangers, or they don't want to put out there. People say, I want to make videos on Periscope or YouTube, but I don't want to because I'm afraid I'm going to look stupid, or I don't think anybody's going to watch my video. Well, I say to them, listen, how many people are watching your video now? Nobody. So if you put out a video and nobody watches it, what did you gain or what did you lose? You didn't lose anything. Nobody was watching you before. Nobody's watching you now. All right, you thought you looked stupid before you made the video. Let's just make the video and let's just confirm or deny that you look stupid in the video. Nobody's watching it anyway. You don't have any fans. So who cares if the video looks stupid? It's going to get like 1 view. Nobody cares that you look stupid in the video because guess what? Nobody knows that you even made one. So you actually have nothing to lose, ladies and gentlemen, talking to a stranger. If they're not interested, they weren't interested before, they're not interested after, you're still in the exact same spot you were in before. If anything, you just got a lesson. You learned something that you might be able to use in your next interaction with a stranger. Maybe ask a better question, maybe approach a different way, or maybe you just approach the wrong person at the wrong time, use the exact same approach with somebody else at a different time, different place, and the whole situation will be different. Can I answer any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? This is Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Shout out to everybody watching this on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching on the replay. This is live on Periscope, Dre All Day TV. We are talking about branding. We're talking about attention. We're talking about marketing yourself, your business, your sport, your blog, your YouTube channel, your Periscope, just your name in general, because each one of you is a business. Each one of you is a business. Now, the business is either on the spending money side or the making money side. Actually, we're on both sides. But if you want to weigh yourself more heavily on one side or the other, listen, just understand that you're in business. You are a business no matter what you do. If you got a job and you work for somebody else, you're still in business. All right, because you're trading your efforts and your skills and your knowledge for their money. That's business. That's what business is. Business is commerce, just trading one thing for another. That's what business is. Between people. So anybody have a question? As we're talking about content, we're talking about branding, we're talking about marketing yourself, we're talking about talking to strangers, getting comfortable having conversations with people that you don't know. So you didn't know them before, so if they don't care about you, who cares? They didn't care about you 2 minutes ago, they don't care about you now. What did you lose? Nothing. People just had to get over that fear. So I'm going to let questions go. I'm going to give it a 10-second countdown, then we're going to wrap this one up. Unless anybody got any questions for me. Again, this is Dre Baldwin. My website is called DreAllDay.com. I do have a free content marketing PDF available on my website. It's at DreAllDay.com/content. DreAllDay.com/content. You can get that PDF. Actually, I need to put a link. I'm going to put a link on my website where people can download that PDF more quickly instead of me having to tell the link all the time. But I'm going to put that up on my website today, matter of fact. But just remember that link that I said, DreAllDay.com/content. State of Nate says, how do you find things to talk about? I always find myself running out of things to say. When you get an idea, write it down. That's number one. And conversations, or have more conversations. I thought he was talking about on YouTube. If you're talking about videos, I write down all my ideas. So when it's time for me to do Periscope, all I do is go to my list and I just pick one. I say, I don't know about that one. No, not that one. No, that one. And every day I'm thinking of new ideas. I think of at least 10 new ideas every single day. Not just for Periscope, but just ideas, period, in general in life. Some of them might be Periscope, some of them might not be. When it comes to ideas for speaking in conversations, have more conversations. Have more conversations. You'll get used to speaking to people. Have a bunch of bad conversations. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to go talk to somebody I know and have a bad conversation because they might not want to talk to me again. That's a very good point. So here's what you do. Go talk to some strangers. Now, what you got to lose? Nothing. If they don't want to talk to you, so what? They didn't want to talk to you 30 seconds ago. They still don't want to talk to you, so what? Go talk to the next person. If you stop 10 strangers on the street and just start talking to them, I guarantee at least one of them is going to stop and have a conversation with you, because a lot of people ain't got nowhere to go, nothing to do, no goals. That's how most people are. They ain't got nowhere to go. They ain't got nothing to do. They ain't got no goals. They want you to stop them and talk to them, so now they got something to do for a minute. They will talk to you, but you got to be willing to have a conversation, and you got to have a belief, the actual conviction that somebody stopping and talking to you is actually worth their time. See, when I'm out there doing Dre All Day TV and I'm asking people, have you ever heard of Periscope, and I'm putting them on camera and getting y'all to say what's up to them, I have the belief that what I got to say is more important than whatever they were doing before I walked up to them. And my belief is so strong that the force of my energy, my force of personality gets them to stop and listen to me. So Trey T said, I find myself running into people that aren't open-minded, don't want better for themselves. Okay, we'll run into some more people. And they're just comfortable. All right, well, Tracy, run into some different people. You run into a lot of the wrong people. Well, guess what? There's some right people out there. I'm one of them. A bunch of people watching the scope are. Boston Ball is one of them. Rebecca Grace is one of them. There are people who are those people who will have a conversation. They're not just comfortable being normal. So all you got to do is find those people. Keep talking to people. What's up, Rodrich from Brazil? What's going on to everybody in South America, Brazil? And Boston Baller said, 10 ideas a day from James Altucher. Yeah, I got it from James Altucher. Listen to his podcast. Y'all never heard of him. James Altucher, Altucher. What's going on, Tondo? Tondo45 Adama. Where you checking in from, Tondo? Can I take any more questions? I appreciate y'all tapping the screen and giving me the hearts. That social proof is everything, because it lets other people know that this guy, Dre Baldwin, got something to say when he's speaking. All right, Tondo from Australia. Shout out to everybody in Australia, North America, South America, Asia, Antarctica, Africa. Anybody else got a question for me before we wrap up this Periscope, talking about branding, talking about marketing, talking about getting known? State of Nate said he downloaded Periscope just to hear me talk. Well, that was an excellent investment, State of Nate. Congratulations. Boston Ball says, how do you come up with 10 ideas a day? I'm struggling to do that. You should be struggling to do it at first. How long have you been doing it? I come up with 10 ideas a day because I've been doing it for damn near a year. Now I can get 30 a day if I wanted to. I remember when I was on Grant Cardone Network TV show called Young Hustlers. I responded to a couple hundred emails because I offered 10 ideas to each one of them. So you just start doing it this week, or you should be struggling. So embrace the struggle. Keep struggling. Keep struggling, but make sure you do it every single day. Every single day, a year from now, you're going to be coming up with 10 ideas like it's nothing. You're going to be giving other people ideas. What do I mean by ideas? Look up the definition of ideas, Tondo. 10 ideas, period, about anything. What are some books or audio I listen to every day? I don't listen to the same audio every single day, but if you go to my website, dreallday.com, and look at my recommended reading list, those are the books that I read. And you can also see books that I have read, and I review every book that I read. So you can go to my website, under the About section, you'll see the books that I've reviewed, and those are the books. But I don't read any book every single day, not one book. I don't listen to any certain audio every single day. But people I always mention, Napoleon Hill, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor. Who else is there? Jim Rohn is another one. All those guys. Just look up personal development on YouTube. You'll see videos of these people, and they're readily available for everybody. Anybody else got a question for me before we wrap up this Periscope stream? We're talking about, Eric Thomas is good. I don't listen to Eric Thomas that often, but Eric Thomas is also great. Yes, he is good. Humble Q22, what's going on? So we about to wrap up this discussion, ladies and gentlemen. Unless anybody else has a question we're talking about content, we're talking about branding, we're talking about getting attention. Humble Q, the great thing about Periscope is that this is available for replay for 24 hours. And because y'all see the direction I'm shooting this, the wide way, this video is going on youtube.com. Am I going to scope later? I'm not sure, because actually it gets dark around 6 o'clock, so I might not be able to scope when I'm driving, and I'm working on a speech right now. Next week I'm giving a TED Talk down here in South Florida, so I'm working on, actually I finished the speech, I'm just working on memorizing the speech the way that I want to deliver it. So that's what I'm working on right now. Miss Jones, baby, you came in super late. We about to wrap this one up. But listen, just follow me and watch this on replay so you can see the content that I'm delivering, the way I'm empowering these audiences out here, which now includes you. Follow me. Make sure your notifications are on. Y'all want to know more about me, or even more than you want to know, go to dreallday.com. That's where you can find out everything about me and even more. I'm on all your favorite social networks. Make sure you follow me. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, work on your game. We out of here. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sure you were entertained. Make sure to stay connected with me on all your favorite social networks. Twitter and Periscope at Dre All Day. Instagram Dre Baldwin. Facebook /Work on Your Game. You can bookmark my YouTube channel by subscribing, of course. And the website is workonyourgame. That's .me. Workonyourga.me. And of course, my homepage is my website, dreallday.com, so you can know exactly what I'm doing, exactly when I'm doing it, and how you might be able to be involved. Work on your game.